Hi, I'm Phil Kerper, President of Unico. We're here in St. Louis in our R&D Center, and I'd like to talk to you today about the iSeries and installation and startup. With the iSeries, you have an outdoor inverter unit that can be mixed and matched with indoor units, a Unico system, a high wall system, or a combination of them. Now remember, when you're selecting this, that these indoor units are specific to the iSeries, so you got to make sure you have the right panel, the right coil assembly that matches the outdoor unit. With the iSeries, you can go mono-split just with Unico, or a mono-split just with a wall hung, or a combination, and that's all off of the same outdoor unit, which is really slick. So once your wholesaler can stock these individual units, and then if you have to mix and match or do a future update to the project, you can use that same common outdoor unit. Now when you open the boxes, you'll see a lot of stuff inside. There'll be an extra remote control, there'll be some software, there'll be some cables, and then obviously the manuals that'll share all the information. And all that stuff is available on our tech site, the manuals and all of that. If you don't see that, or if you don't get all that equipment with you, just give us a call or talk to your rep, we'll get you set up. But what we did with some of your input is we created this punch list. And what that basically does is it highlights the real important things that you need to go through when you're installing and commissioning, and then it also references the bulletin that it's from, just in case you want some more information. So for example, it gives you the equipment you need, and one thing is a laptop or a PC type of device. So here we have a laptop that we're using. These were pretty slick. We found them, they're about $100. They're basically a Winbook type of tablet that we can also upload all the software and the manuals that you might need on as well. But it's got to be a Windows-based device. And what you'll be doing with that is you'll be doing things like checking the diagnostics in the system once it's running, and also making sure the firmware in the system is the most recent version of firmware. It's a computer, and it has to communicate on a serial cable. So that means that sometimes if you got an older unit here and a newer unit here, you might have to upgrade the firmware. It's a download, it's pretty straightforward, but you want to be prepared to do that before you go to the job site. Another thing that this offers on the checklist is a couple things, the basics. Confirm that the indoor units match. Because you're able to use a variety thing off of this, you're going to have to set some dip switches and make sure that those are set up properly, which is highlighted here. A big one is the shielded cable. Make sure you're using 2-wire, at least minimum 18 gauge, and make sure it's shielded and connected correctly on that so that communication on that serial port can happen correctly. If you're using a third-party thermostat, if you're using other connections to that, again, the basics, make sure all that's done, and it gives you the points in the manual that you want to reflect on or look back to if you want more information. And then line set sizing and other stuff that you guys that are doing inverter technology now know is a little particular on how far you can go and what the heights are on it. So when you're all done, there's a startup procedure here, and that's it. You get it all hooked up per these 7 points. Make sure your firmware is up to date, and then go through the startup procedure. All this stuff is available on techunico.com. It's also, give us a call at 800-527-0896 if you got some questions. And hopefully, as you look at this technology, you're as excited as we are. It gives you a really nice option and set up flexibility for your customers, some better performance, and hopefully some things that help both you and our end users really get the best technology for both heating and cooling.